Hello and welcome to another video from the Marketing Study Guide. In this video I'm going to have a look at the reasons and the advantages of using behavioral segments as well as the drawbacks. My name is Jeff and I'm a long-term marketing lecturer and practitioner. Okay, as you probably know, here are the main approaches to market segmentation, and we're going to have a look at number 4, behavioral. However, I have videos on all of these if you want to check them out elsewhere. Okay, so what are we trying to do with market segments and segmentation process when we do it? So here's a whole bunch of consumers. Let's assume that's our overall market, and we're trying to put them into related groups, things that they have in common. Now, these customers or consumers will never be identical, but they will have shared needs, behaviors, lifestyles, demographics that are relevant to us as marketers and relevant to our business. So what we're trying to do is put them into common and distinct groups. Now, what that means is this group here have things in common. So we can say they are similar purchasing behavior, they buy similar products, they hold similar attitudes, etc. And whatever basis we use, this group is distinct from this group and distinct from this group. So it is very clear we can take a consumer and go, this consumer here, they belong to that segment because we have segmented it on brand loyalty or something like that. Our end goal is to select one or more of these segments to become our target market, with the final ultimate goal of creating a marketing strategy and a marketing mix that helps us make more money or build a more successful business or organization. So this is why the process itself is helpful for information, and we get a lot of information about the industry and consumers, and we can use that in our marketing. At the end of the day, we've got to deliver on improved marketing performance. Okay, so let's have a very quick look at what behavioral segments are. There's a cartoon lady there, and she's shopping, having too much fun for my liking. But when we hear the word behavioral, it's very important to understand it's only how people behave as customers. It is nothing to do with psychographics. It is nothing to do about lifestyle. It is how they interact with brands and products in the marketplace. So it's behavior only relevant to consumer behavior, okay, which is the second point there. And there's some examples of how we could do behavioral segments. Is the person very loyal to brands, or do they tend to switch, or are they switching because there's something happening? How sensitive are they to price? So when prices change or they move up or down below their reference price, what do they do? How do they behave? How do they respond? Which products do they use? Are they heavy users of certain categories of products, light users of others, occasional users, even non-customers or non-consumers of some categories? Their awareness and attitudes towards brands. Which brands do they know about? Which brands are they positive to, neutral to, negative to? Those things are all important. And again, we're looking at how people respond, what triggers that. So it's a very much a mechanical type process. So let's have a look at why we would use it. First thing is we understand their actions and behaviors as a customer or as a consumer very much. Okay, so we can observe this person in a shopping center either through watching, through video, through a loyalty card scan at the end when they come through, and go which aisles do they go to, which products do they interact with, which ones do they buy on a regular basis, which ones do they buy because it's on a discount. So we can see very much how they respond. And the second point there, that then gives us the advantage to construct marketing experiments that is going to allow us to fine-tune our organization over time, because we can change the price, we can add a new product, we can I'm talking obviously in a supermarket setting here, but we can do it in a lot of industries. We can add a new product, put it somewhere else, change the packaging. What happens? What is the response? How do these consumers behave? And remember, we're trying to construct different groups that behave differently. Obviously, it can be quite measurable. I've got the example there again, loyalty programs in large supermarkets. They potentially have millions of people going through their stores using loyalty cards, and we can track that and say, hey, 27% of people bought that product, it's on special, they don't normally buy it unless it's on discount. 50% of people buy the same brand. We can measure that precisely, and we can then fine tune our efforts. And it works very well for industries. I've got down the bottom there those letters that stand for fast moving consumer goods. So most products we see in a supermarket or a convenience setting, they're targeting consumers, so they're consumer goods, and they're fast moving. As they go into the store, people walk in and buy them, as opposed to like a car, for example, that may sit in a car dealership for weeks or months or even longer. Okay, reasons against or the limitations of behavioral segments. At the top there, we can see the response. We do something, they respond differently, they become more or less loyal, etc. We're not, in this case, unless we add to the data, we don't know why. What is motivating them? What is in their life or their situation or their demographics that creates that behavioral change? So as a result, we have very little market insight. We can build mathematical type models and become quite analytical, but in terms of the detailed understanding of the consumer, it's probably less. If we're in a supermarket setting, for example, we end up with common segments. A good example of that is heavy users. In many categories such as soft drinks and snacks and even fast foods, even restaurants and things, we have what's called heavy user consumers, and they buy that category on a regular basis. And it's almost like the 80-20 rule, where a small group of people can control or be responsible for 60% of the sales or something like that. So what you find is snack foods and beverages, they will target heavy users because they're the ones who are going to buy 10 snacks in a week, as opposed to somebody who gets it occasionally. So what you have is a number of direct competitors going after the same segment, so which is not always ideal. Down the bottom there, the access to this data. Some supermarkets will obviously capture that and then sell it and create an income stream for them. If you're a smaller brand, that's going to be a challenge for you in terms of possibly the cost, or you're not maybe into a supermarket channels, which then reduces the ability of that data, or it's going to be a lot of money. And then down the bottom, we have a transactional view. So we have somebody walks in, they buy this, they go to McDonald's, they buy a Big Mac and fries. We know that we've captured that sales data, but that's all we know about them. We're not looking longer term. There's no overall arching relationship type perspective of them. Okay, so that's the for and against. Please check out my other videos on the other segmentation basis.